Yeah, streaming live on Facebook. Okay.
All right, all right.
Hello.
One second, let me just. All right, I believe we are good to go. All right, all right.
Hello.
Just gonna, 1 second, let me just. Bali, are you hearing me?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right, let me just press record and we'll get started. All right, pleasant good afternoon to everybody.
Now, I believe that there's a feedback somewhere. So are you running Facebook there? You might have to mute your Facebook feed.
Okay. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
All right, let me just press record and we'll get started. All right, pleasant good afternoon to everybody. So
are you running? You might have to mute your Facebook feed.
okay. Are you hearing me? All right, let me just press record and we'll get started. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how do I mute Facebook.
Is there not a little speaker button at the side of the video there? Is there one? Might be okay. Seems okay. We could try. So you've muted Zoom, so I can't hear you.
Okay. Right. All right. I'm trying to mute Facebook. One second. Let me just try to see how best I can mute Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Or probably just even pull the volume down all the way down to 0 so that it doesn't feedback. So you've muted Zoom, so I can't hear you.
All right. I'm trying to mute Facebook. One second. Let me just try to see. Okay, but this is Facebook, so I take the volume of this one.
Yes.
All right.
That's it.
I did it.
Awesome. That's it. Great. Awesome.
So thank you so much. It all ends good with the little fine tuning at the beginning. So we are now sure that we're going to rock and roll this call. So
of course.
So for people who are trying to get into Zoom, please, you need to join us on
Facebook.
Facebook. It's Melissa Ramkissoon on Facebook. Please, you need to join us on Facebook. All right, guys. So I have with me somebody that's very special to my heart. I have Bale Granville on the call with us. And this episode of Money Talks, we are going to specifically talk about how we are transitioning from fiat to digital, guys. So it's basically money education, so to speak. You are in this world, you are spending and earning every day, but yet still, you are not sure. You know, you've been hearing little snippets, you've been seeing things, hearing things about things like digital currency, things like Bitcoin, you're hearing things about cashless currency. Some people have been reaching out to me, telling me that they're scared. They don't know who to invest in. They don't know if this is the real deal. A lot of people are saying a lot of things. So the best way is to get the proper education so the knowledge will stay with you. And when you repeat things, you will also be telling other people the correct stuff. All right. Now, Bale Granville, as I said, very dear friend of mine, but very, very versed, very educated. Listen, track runner, proven track record of actually living in this space, this digital currency space. And today, I want to welcome Bale. Bale, welcome and thank you for coming on this live with me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation. It's really an honor to be the first that you've invited to this series.
Yes, you are absolutely the first. You know, they always say save the best for last, but I do things differently. I went straight to the core. I went to the best from the beginning, from the get-go. All right, now, Bale, this call is not intended to take very, very long, but I just want to let our listeners know two things. I have two definitions written down here. So, guys, I want to let you know, when we talk about fiat, right? Fiat currency is, you know, it's government issued. It's a government issued currency where the banks, like the central banks, they would have control over it and they would decide how much of that currency they could print. All right, that's basically, because you're probably hearing the word fiat. To me, it rhymes with liat. So I think airplane, you know, I think airspace. Right? And when we talk about digital, all right, yes, digital is a bit different, but when you get to understand it, you will understand, hey, this is where we're heading. This is what I need in my life. So digital is only available in electronic form. So now I want to bring on Bale. Bale, before we even dive into the questions, you want to tell us a little background, a small little background about yourself and how you ended up in this space?
Hi. Yeah. So I grew up on the island of Tobago. We are part of the beautiful twin island republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I grew up there when until I was the age of 24. But as you're growing up, of course, your parents will will beg you to go to school, learn as much as you can, get a nice, safe, secure job. And by the age of 17, I started to learn land surveying. And I did that for several years. One of the projects that I did personally was to set out the Dwight York Stadium in Tobago. And then I left to come to England to explore opportunities, because by that time I had read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I thought, you know what, I really need to find a different way or a better way. And my the land surveying company I was working for, the owner of it, he said something really significant, and he probably didn't even realize how much it affected me. He says, you know what, doing this, you would get by, but you would never be rich. He literally told me that. And he says, you see the guys that doing the properties down there or selling this, that, and that, those are the guys that are making money. So I clocked that.
He did you a
he didn't even
favor.
realize that I clocked that. And so when I came to England, I started looking at like property investment courses and that sort of thing. And while I was on courses and getting the education in that regard, because with everything, you really need education, and we'll get to that, but you need to educate yourself on the pitfalls and how you could actually be successful in the industry. So I started to do property investment courses. And while on the courses, the trainer, he would bring in somebody who was like a trader, and he would say that a part of your wealth strategy, you've got to learn how to trade. So the trainers will come in and they would explain, this is what trading is. And to come on their course, which is the weekend course, is £2,000. And this is 3 days, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And when you finish that course, they would say, well, you know, that was just the basics that we taught you. You need to really understand the intermediate. So you come onto the intermediate course, and that's £6,000 for the whole week. And then when you finish that, They'll say, hey, you know what? You need
You need to be
personal
it.
mentorship. And for personal mentorship, for years, personal mentorship is going to be about £12,000 for personal mentorship. So I never touched it, right? I never touched it. But about 4 years ago, I was speaking to my friend Gary McSween, and he was saying, I'm going to launch this business in Trinidad, and it's all around trading. So I said, trading? He says, yeah, like trading. It's like, how much is it? Well, I was expecting him to tell me about 2000 US or so to get started. I was prepared for that. He said it was 200 US for the start, and then 165 US for a monthly subscription. And if you get two people in, it's free. I said, dude, sign me up immediately.
Definitely.
Get me started straight
Definitely.
away because I understand how expensive the education was. So, and the thing about it is that the education that you're signing up for outside of this environment is you're learning one thing from one person. With
Okay.
what we've got here, you're spoiled for choice.
Hmm.
For the price as well. It's unreal. So that's how I got started. Um, yeah, I was doing civil engineering when I got started as well. I had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to catch our educators. Then we only had two educators at the time. But now we've developed into having over 100 educators in different parts of the world, different languages as well, many trading styles to learn from. And then there's a special academy dedicated to the cryptocurrency space, and it's so valuable. We were lucky enough to actually be in this space before Bitcoin had its first crash, right?
Wow.
We saw it go up and we saw it crashing down. So yeah, so we actually in fantastic times at the moment. So very excited.
Wow, wow, wow. That is so interesting because even when I was growing up, Bali, in school, we were never taught anything about except like principles of accounts. We were never really taught. That's with ledgers and books. And I did all what my parents told me to do. I followed it to the T.
Mm.
But when I started a job, I realized that there must be more to life than this. I used to wonder, how did my dad do this?
Mm. For
It's
years, eh?
frustrating.
40
Yeah,
years, right?
yes, for all his life,
Wow.
And he had 4 kids. I only have two, and
Wow.
I used to wonder, like, how did what motivated, like, like, I was amazed. But then I said to myself, Bali, I had to get up like 4 in the morning, get up like 3 in the morning and get dressed and leave home at 4 to get to Ministry of National Security in Port of Spain.
Wow.
Because that traffic would back up so badly. I did that for 10 plus years.
Wow.
And
Well, what it is sometimes it's just a lack of information sometimes, it's just lack of accessibility sometimes. And then, people not understanding the difference between employment and deployment, right? Employment just meaning that you're serving in a capacity in the corporate world, whereas deployment is you're serving your gift to your generation.
amen. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I love that. When I was working, and nothing is wrong. I always tell people nothing is wrong with a job. Don't get me wrong.
No, not
But
at all. They said
but
it is okay to be a carpenter until you become a savior.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But for me, right? For me, job for me meant job. That just meant just over broke.
Mm.
Because for 10 years, and even before that, but my most recent job was 10 years at one place. But before that, I mean, it's the same thing. Same, I saw a repeat over and over, just a different job. For
Mm-hmm.
me, it meant just over broke. Because by the time I get that salary, and that was my problem, I didn't like such a fixed salary.
Mm.
I didn't like to know that month end I would know how much I could get, and I would have to split that up into so many ways that I just wanted something better for me. And I would hear people talking about little whispers. I went to this big church convention one day and I heard this guy talking about Bitcoin. Now, this is years ago. And I had no idea what he was speaking about. And to be honest with you, I wasn't too interested. Imagine if I had gotten into this space then. Things would have been much, 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 much. I mean, it's good, but things would have been a lot better. I'm not complaining, but think about at that time. So I believe, just like what you said, a lot of times it's information, and that's what we want to curb today. We want to bring the information to our viewers in such a simple and dynamic way that they wouldn't have any problem understanding or even repeating exactly what we're going to educate them on. So, Bali, you're in the spotlight again. How long, in terms of years, have you been in this digital industry?
Yeah, so it's 4 years now that I've been trading and really looking more into cryptocurrencies, like within the last year or so. Even though I was exposed to it, in the earlies, I was looking at cryptos, but then I sort of drifted away and thought, I just focus on just Forex and trading. But then a year after, like, here's what really got my attention. Back, my wife just looked at me once last year March and said, "Hey, I just bought some Bitcoin." I was like, "You bought Bitcoin?" Yeah, and the price, it fell in March, and she bought it. It was like $4,800.
Wow.
Right? Here's the thing. 2 weeks later, it almost doubled in value. She sold it. She's like, I made my money. I made my money. I'm out.
You know us women, we like to be sure.
Yeah. So she was out. What also got my attention, when my baby was born, I decided to buy some cryptocurrency and just hold it as an investment for them. But I didn't buy Bitcoin. I bought a different cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I bought a different one. And then when my wife bought the Bitcoin, then I thought, well, I'll buy some more of the other one, because my wife has Bitcoin, so I'll just buy the other one. Man, I wish I just bought Bitcoin.
I know, right? I know. It's like when you're there, because you didn't have, like you said, the correct information, the opportunity comes sometimes, but we miss it sometimes. And then we have the little regrets where if I had known and I shoulda and I coulda and I woulda, but that happened to me too. But I am happy, Bali, that we are still here. It's not too late and we are living to tell.
Well, the beautiful thing is that I was able to get in. Well, I just got in a little later than thing, but we could see where Bitcoin has gone now, and the money has doubled and going.
Definitely.
So just because now we caught on to the information, we're in, and where is the limit? Who knows? But let's know that digital is definitely here to stay. We are at the beginning of a new era, and people just need the understanding to be able to get on board.
Definitely. Bali, I want you to tell us, how has the change, from fiat to digital? You said you're in London, right? Yes. So how has this change from fiat to digital, cash to cashless, how has it impacted in your part of the world? Tell us how they accept it. Do they accept it? And if they do, how is it really affecting you, like in a positive, negative? Tell us what's going on in your part of the world.
Well, in terms of cashlessness, I mean, this is something that has been happening for a long while in terms of like cards being issued rather than cash and all that. But also now we're looking at cryptocurrencies, which is I'm thinking is what you're alluding to, where the pickup on it is slow in my opinion. But we're just at the start, right? We're just at the start. Companies are now saying, big companies like Tesla are saying, hey, we're gonna accept payments in Bitcoin. Companies like Starbucks saying, hey, we're gonna accept payments in Bitcoin. So is going to trickle over, and these are more US based companies. So it's going to trickle over into the UK eventually. I know that for sure. So but there are small businesses, like there's a pub that's saying, hey, I'm going to accept Bitcoin. So people could now go and buy their alcohol and their drinks with Bitcoin. It's a small company. But when the bigger corporations start picking up, of course, the value will start getting increasing. But it's gonna get there. And the nice thing is, at this time, we're at the beginning of that. We're at the beginning of this new evolution in digital currency, in the digital currency space. And a lot of people. The reason why, say for example, Bitcoin was created is a storage of value. And like, say for example, gold, right? So it's gold. People used to buy physical gold and hold on to it in times of crisis, right? Physical gold.
Yes.
But now we're in a digital space. So Bitcoin has come to replace this physical gold as a digital gold. It is rare, all right? In terms of there is a finite amount of Bitcoin. It's not going to be just printed over and over and over again. Whereas with money, fiat money, the government just print. They call it quantitative easing, but all they just do is printing and printing and printing money, causing the value of the money to go down and down and down, right? And because of that, that's why people go and buy physical gold. But now we're in the digital space. What are they going to now? They're going to things like Bitcoin and other digital and cryptocurrencies, so that they can have a storage of value for their money. They could have their money put into an asset that will increase the value of their money over time.
Wow, wow. Very, very good information. So I agree with you. And even in Trinidad, we have this mindset that we always last and everything, and we always small as a country. But even here, I have been to places that actually have signs that they accept cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
They accept in payment. I've been to restaurants, that they literally take payment in Bitcoin. And I was telling my husband, I said, just now we'll see the doubles man. He'll be telling you, you could pay in Bitcoin. It's going to become that widespread.
I believe so. I definitely do believe so, because even recently, I accepted payment from somebody in Trinidad in Bitcoin.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was my first payment that I got in Bitcoin. I was like, wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
like, that's wild. And because the value has been increasing, the value of that money that they paid increased for me doing nothing.
Yes.
I couldn't imagine. It's crazy.
Yes, that's something that is very important that you said. I wanted to touch on this later on, but as you said that, I'm going to touch on it now. Bali, long ago when we were smaller, I remember to become a millionaire was a really big deal. But to get to that million, what we were taught, majority of us, is that we have to go to school, get a good education. I mean, my dad was a principal, so trust me, I was not getting away from getting a good education. Mm-hmm. So he would make sure and tell you education is the key, and nothing is wrong with that. I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying that we were taught a certain way because at that time, that's what they knew. But what I call that is the brick and mortar system. So I call that the hard work. I call that the long hours. And now my point is, if it's available for me to become a millionaire in a shorter space of time, right, with less labor, with just some education, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why
so
not?
we are in a digital economy, so we've got to become digital entrepreneurs, right? In the brick and mortar system, where I studied civil engineering. So in the brick and mortar system, civil engineering would have been the thing to do, because we're building roads and hard slug to be able to get to your money. But it's no longer relevant, right? Right? Is was it what is the famous saying? The Oh, I'll come back to it. It'll come back to me. It speaks about change. Oh, how could I not remember that quote?
With Alexander Elder,
Yeah, where it says that yeah, that's
the
right. In times of
yes,
change, the learners inherit the
yes,
earth, while the learned are beautifully decorated for a world that no longer exists.
correct,
And that is
correct.
what is happening right now. We have a world that no longer exists, but we have an education system that is still, educating people to live in that world.
And you see, the thing about it is, Bali, a lot of people, I wouldn't say that they're in denial, right? Because some of them are very innocent. Even I used to think like this. I would always say in my mind, that's so far away. I would always think in my mind, oh, I hear you, but that's something you don't have to worry about now. That's many, many, many years away. But I'm telling you, it's not far, it's here.
Correct.
It's
It is
here.
definitely.
I was listening, Bali, I was listening to Jack Ma, the owner of AliExpress, right? The owner of this big e-commerce. And
Yes.
Jack Ma was saying, right now, you don't want to teach your kids on education.
Mm.
What you want to do is you want to make sure that your kids learn a skill set,
Yes.
something that if you want to know what to teach them, it's easy. Think about something that a robot will not be able to replace.
That's
He
incredible.
said, think about something that a robot may not be able to do. So we are talking about emotion, how to care for someone.
Mm.
Because if you're telling me you will nobody will ever replace the job you have now, if a robot could replace it, yeah, it's gonna get replaced.
Gonna get replaced. Yeah, absolutely.
And these are things that people like my own mom, she would say that's far from now.
Mm.
You know,
That's
I may
Star
not be
Trek.
living.
That's Star Trek stuff,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm
Mm.
telling you, it's not so far away because those are things that even the billionaires, the people who are big in this industry are telling you. They're warning you that, you need to get your kids up to mark. You need to get your family, your friends, your loved ones up to date with education.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, Bali, I have literally seen in front of my very eye with one candle, so to speak, you will know what I mean. With one candle, I have seen people make 1 million US dollars profit
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
front of my very eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Long ago, my biggest dream was to become a millionaire in TT. And I thought that had to be like when I get this age, like years ahead. But it's out there. And as I said, the right education is going to get you to where you want to go. It's
Yeah.
going to fast start your dreams and goals.
Correct.
And nothing is wrong with it. It's not a shortcut, but it's an easier way. It's what I call the click and order system. We've moved from brick and mortar to click and order.
Mm-hmm.
So Bali, sticking right at you, I want to ask you, is cryptocurrency, digital currency, is it being accepted in most parts of your country right now?
I wouldn't say in most parts. No, not in most parts. But is gonna be accepted. It's coming in slowly, and especially in England, they're a little bit like that. When it comes to new innovations, but is picking up in the US for sure. So I'm sure it's going to come across on this side of the pond at some
Okay.
point soon. But
Okay.
it is at the infancy. And say for example, there are a lot of crypto exchanges now in England that accept you come in and purchase, taking your fiat and purchasing cryptocurrencies. So that in itself says that we're headed in the right direction.
I hear you. I hear you. Definitely. So, but let me ask you your expertise answer here now, your opinion. What is making digital currency so strong?
Mm-hmm.
What is making it so strong, and why is fiat losing its value?
Yeah, so I touched on this earlier. Fiat is
Yeah.
losing its value because of the quantitative easing that's happening in
Right.
governments.
Right.
You know, we're facing now one of the largest recessions in the history of mankind because of the coronavirus. they've been printing money like crazy. Apparently in the US, more money has been printed in the last 1 year than it was printed between 18 something and
Wow.
1964. I mean,
Wow.
it's crazy how much money they've been printing just to shore up the economy. So at some point, that is gonna catch up with the US. It's just totally devaluing the US dollar. So
Wow.
what we really need is real assets. This is why the digital and Bitcoin was created to store that value. That's why a lot of people are rushing to buy gold as well. You see the price of gold. The price of gold hit 2,000 an ounce the first time ever late last year. Right? It's just hovering now around 1,900 or so, but it's crazy. And the reason for that is people are seeing that the fiat US dollar is depreciating in value because of all this printing of money. So, yeah, and with say for example with Bitcoin, they've produced a certain amount and they do have mining happening, right? So similar
Yes.
to how they mine gold, there is mining happening, but your mining takes a long time to mine one Bitcoin, and then when you get when we get to a certain amount of years, they half the amount that could be mined. And I think we just got to a halving of the amount, I think last year or this year, right? So there is just so much that would be able to be produced, which gives it an even more value because of its scarcity. So we in interesting times, definitely.
Bali, when you entered the digital space, what was the price of a Bitcoin?
Yeah, so when my wife bought, she bought at 4,008, you know. So I was like,
Oh,
oh yeah,
okay.
yeah, like 4,008 was the price.
And what is
Uh,
the price now?
yeah, the price now is 48,000.
Say that again, Bali.
48,000. It literally went up 10 times in less than a year.
Your wife bought at 4,800 US, and you are telling me in less than a year it's gone skyrocketed to 48,000 US dollars.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
Could not
crazy.
believe it. Could not
That's
believe
crazy. That's
it.
crazy.
So
That's
it
crazy.
is nice to approach the market in an investment way, because if you're trading like how she did, because she really invested as a trader. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, I've made my money, so I'm out.
He's
But
out.
if you had put the money there and just left it to go, you would have 10 times your money. It's incredible.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And Bali, just two more things before we go. Where do you see the future going with this entire fiat to crypto? Where do you see the future?
Yeah, so future wise, a lot of people will be taking payments in Bitcoin. The take up at the moment in the UK is pretty slow, but I believe that is gonna grow and grow and grow. And then just because a lot of people now are in the digital space because, well, they're not working, so they're at home on the computer looking for opportunities, looking for ways to, um, a better way of making cash, and is all digital, right? So it's going to pick up in the future for sure. So we're on an uptrend, and at the beginning of, and we are at the beginning of something that's gonna be pushing really nicely.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean, the digital entrepreneurs seem to be the way to go. I
Yeah,
am happy that I'm in this space, and I
yeah,
know that you are too.
absolutely.
Benefits for me, definitely. I no longer have to leave my house and go on and stay on a job. And if it's my daughter's birthday, I don't get a day off and I have to beg and all these kind of things. I always used to tell myself, Bali, one life to live, and I'm going to get the best out of it. And I
Mm,
am so happy that I joined this space, and
yeah,
now I am literally living the best of my life because
yeah,
of just getting the right information and making the right decisions. You
yeah,
know,
absolutely, absolutely.
that's what I'm very grateful for.
The thing is as well, the truth remains the same, but the way truth is distributed, I'll say that way, it changes over time because of technology, because of development and innovation. So it's okay to have the truth. It's not that your way didn't work. It's just not going to be working now because
Yes.
we're in a different time.
Yes.
We are in a different time. So you gotta move with the times. You gotta keep the truth, but you gotta move with the times. All right. And yeah, it's just now people being open to be able to change, because change is just a constant motion. Truth remains the same, but change is always changing, right? Things are
I love
always
that.
changing.
I love that. And last question, Bali, would you recommend to our listeners, our viewers, to not miss out on this new opportunity, from brick and mortar to click and order? Would you highly recommend that they take advantage of this space, take advantage of how they could profit in this world,
Yes.
and not stay, brick and
But
mortar.
the thing is, if you're stagnant, you're moving backwards, right? If you're not moving, you're moving backwards.
Wow.
Because the change of pace at the moment is just, you think about it and something has changed. Like you bought a computer now, and 6 months from now that thing is almost obsolete. You bought a phone now, and 6 months from now that phone is like, wow, it's like you almost need an upgrade. So you got to keep moving with the times. You got to keep sticking with the opportunities that are there to live in this digital space. We are digital entrepreneurs because we are living in a digital economy. It just makes sense, right? When we're living in a brick and mortar economy, you become a brick and mortar entrepreneur, right? It just makes sense.
It just makes sense. But because it's so strange to some people, it's not, as accepted as it ought to be.
I think what is important as well is, we understand that sometimes there are bad people out there that are seeking their own interests and will kind of give you some sort of misinformation to make it seem that it's profitable to you, but it is just profitable to them. So this is where you've got to have the right education, right? The right understanding. The richest man in Babylon, the principles in there are really good to follow, where it says that you've got to seek knowledge from somebody who has, been there, and stick with those old principles, but just we're using them in a different space. And
but they still work. They still work 100%.
Stick with the old principles, but use them in a different space. And we're in a digital space at the moment. Just stick with is what the 5 laws of gold and the 7 cures for a lean purse. If you just Google those, the 7 cures for a lean purse and the 5 laws of gold, and use that, but use it in the digital space.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bali, listen, those nuggets, I'm telling you, we could not thank you. We could not tell you thank you enough.
Thank you so much for having me on.
And listen, I'm going to literally send you a goat roti and a red solo all the way from Trinidad, right to your doorstep. I don't know if they will accept Bitcoin, but I'm going to send... I'm gonna send that for you.
Oh man, I tell you what though, when I come to Trinidad, I'm telling you, I'm giving you a call because I
am your girl, Bali. Bali, I'm your girl. The last time I saw you, it was in London for a very, very big convention. We had a blast. And because of this pandemic, we haven't been able to catch up since then. But it's gonna be better. 2021. I don't say 2021. What I do say is 202 WON, because I have changed my to-do list into a to-done list. It's already done.
It's already done. Yeah, that's right.
It's done, Bali. It's done. All
once
right.
Once it's created here, it's done.
Amen. Amen. Yeah. And I want to thank you also because of this. Because of the business that you and I are in together. This business really changed my life. You know, this business has literally made all my dreams come true. And that was something I had a concern about, because before this business, I used to wonder, if I'm taking that long to fulfill one dream, I need to cut down my dreams or change the way I earn. Because
That's
I
right.
had some big dreams, Valley, some big, big dreams. But if I was taking 10 years at one job to buy a good vehicle,
Mm.
how many years would I take to build a good house?
House. Yeah, that's right.
How many years? And then I had all my other goals. So because of this business, and I'm just doing this space 2 years, just a little bit under 2 years. All right. So I want to thank you. I want to personally thank you for jumping on this call. And to all our viewers, you know, I know that you've really made a good impact. And we're going to do this again very soon. We're going to come back and talk about money.
Yeah.
Any closing remarks?
One of our goals as an organization, a global organization, is to impact the lives of 20,000 families. We are going to impact the lives of 20,000 families in 2021. So this is just the beginning. We're only in February right now. And I tell you what, people are looking for some change, something different. 2020 cannot repeat themselves in the lives of many, many people. And I remember at this time last year, we were at about 100,000 customers. Now we are almost 350,000.
Definitely. That's growth. That's growth. It means we are doing something, and we are doing something right. We are
Correct.
giving the right education. We are steering people the right direction, and people are seeing change. They are seeing gains. They are seeing progress in their business.
Absolutely.
And we're going to keep pushing, right? A lot of people are depending on us. Bali, I love you. I love your family. Thank you all the way from London. We love you so much from Trinidad, your home country, Tobago, but we're all good. We're all good.
Thank you. Blessings
God bless
to you,
you,
your family, and your organization as well.
Thank you, Bali. Talk to you soon. God bless you.